Welcome back to One Consciousness. As you will see from all the photos on the video this week, the horses are going backwards, forwards all the time, connecting in with the divine, with their higher selves, with the One Consciousness, which is the database for all of us, if you want to see it like that, to connect in, to get all of the information about what is happening at the moment. So this isn't just the horses who are doing this, it is the whole of nature that are able to connect in easily at this level with the cosmos to bring in all the information of what is happening. So the horses are trying to help us to get through all of this in the most evolutionary way possible. But there are so many other ways of doing it, through creative writing, through being out in nature, through connecting with whatever it is you're drawn to. These videos are purely just to show you how we do it. And the horses want nothing more than just to open those doors for us so we can see through vibrationally what we need to see. And then they invite us in to research it ourselves, to see what really matters to us. We are all unique and we all have one piece of the whole divine puzzle, the whole divine plan. This is different for every one of us, and it's for each of us individually to find out what our part is in the ascension as we're moving through it. So that is the message today. This isn't just about the horses. This is purely how we have been doing it and how they are showing me, how they are giving me the information. There are many things also this week and over the past few weeks that they are drawing now our attention to. It is a massive roller coaster, and we can find that at one moment we're on a high because we found out something about what's going on maybe, or we've seen the light at the end of the tunnel. And then what can happen is the next few days, the next few hours, the next few minutes at the moment, you can find yourself coming down the other side of that roller coaster and crashing at the bottom. Everything's going on. Everything feels like it's getting on top of you. And then how is the best way to try and get yourself out of that and to increase your vibration again and be on that upward trajectory to the top, where we're in that good place, we're galloping along, information's coming in from the divine, we're feeling great, we're feeling connected, trying our best to stay in that place. And whatever it is the horses are saying that we need to do to stay in that place, to meditate, to relax, and to work with spirit, with the divine, with the cosmos in whatever way works best for us. But inevitably, with what's going on, we are going to feel ourselves on that roller coaster, and that is what they're highlighting this week. Towards the end of the video, they will be telling us about the sacred hum and why that is so important for us to be practicing right now. Both to be in alignment, they're saying, with the sacred hum of the land, and to help calm down our own nervous systems with what is going on in the 3D. So as we begin the message this week, I wanted to start as always with the vision that they were showing me. So often I'm seeing this white light raining down on me as they give me this initial vision. And it's this feeling of being bathed in this white light. And somehow it was starting to feel different from normal, from how it has done before. This is very much like rain coming down, but it's not wet rain. It is rain of light coming down, as we've talked many times before about all the upgrades coming in due to the ascension process, are coming in from the plasma, from the solar rays, from the cosmos in general, and the vibrations around us and around the animals and nature. The sun itself is strong. It's full but gentle somehow. And when I was tuning in just over a week or so ago, with this particular vision, it also had such hope in it, surrounding it. And that hope was all around. And this is part of the roller coaster that I'm talking about this feeling of being so connected in at one moment with the whole ascension process. And then for it to change and to keep changing. And whilst this is playing havoc with our nervous systems, they're asking us to center and come back to ourselves. And coming back to ourselves within that chaos is where we're gathering our strength and where we're increasing our vibration to rise in the ascension. So it's quite interesting feeling all of this when the reality at the moment surrounding us on Earth feels bleak, hopeless. I've heard many ways of describing what's going on at the moment with many people, but it's not feeling good tuning into that side of things. But what they're showing me in their vision is it's further encouragement to blur out all of that energy and package it up in that blur and put it to one side. This is all the chaos that's going on at the moment, unless we really need to interact with it and to focus on what we are being shown by the animals, by nature, and spiritually what we need to focus on. And what is so important now is our energy and what we are radiating out into the world, into the cosmos. Our focus now needs to be on working with this energy, our own energy, rather than trying or getting absorbed in what is playing out before us in the 3D. And it was such a warm, encouraging energy in that week from my horses. And I wasn't feeling any words from them at the time. And always with this sort of work, it's not about forcing it. It's often about listening at a very, very deep level to their whispers, to their messages coming forwards. And absorbing those. So hang on tight was the message from the horses. It is going to be a roller coaster. And we all know that. We've all been going through this roller coaster. Ad infinitum it feels. And yes, the intensity is stepping up and stepping up and stepping up all the time for so many of us. As well as the 3D chaos, we're also hearing constantly about the intensity and the frequency of all of the earthquakes and the volcanoes, particularly around the Ring of Fire in the Pacific. And this is going to intensify further. And you may have seen videos from Stefan Burns. I would definitely recommend him. He's a geophysicist who's reporting on all these anomalies. Anomalies? Maybe that's not the right word. All the volcanoes and earthquakes and all the weather effects around the earth. And he's also linking it in to what he calls the more esoteric, the astrological perspective on this too. So that could be fascinating listening to him to get more of a background on all of this. So we were talking several videos ago about the earthquakes and the volcanoes being synonymous with birth contractions, as of course they are speeding up now, the intensity and the frequency, as contractions do. And we are all here holding the space for the birthing process, she says. And we're going back now to a vision from several months ago where my horses were showing me this vision of an indigenous man living close to the land, feeling the land, being in tune with its rhythms and movements, and understanding those rhythms and movements at a soul level because he's so connected into it. That is obviously that space they are urging us to be in, to really understand what we are a part of, to feel how much we belong in that whole process. We're not separated from it as we have been through the egos. And you'll see from previous videos or hear in previous videos what I was talking about. The ego is a relatively recent thing in the human body. You may want to go back and listen to that. But this now is about us, the ego dying in all of us. It needs to die for us to be able to ascend. It's not keeping us safe. That is an absolute fallacy. It is there to distract us, to keep us separate. So going back to being in tune with the rhythms and movements of the land, of the sea, holding space for the whole process, the ascension process, and being in reverence with it as everything it means to us, for the animals and to nature in general. We're all a part of this divine plan. As we transform, as we vibrate higher, there will be casualties, they're saying. That is inevitable. But finding peace in that vibration with the process and allowing our own energy to be with it, not trying to control ourselves. This is more about being in the flow with the vibration. We're not trying to control anything. That is the ego, and that is what they're urging us to put to one side. So feel into this process with curiosity and acceptance, feeling into each part as another part is revealed to you through your animals, through nature, through your higher self, in meditation, in creative writing, in being with nature. It is all being revealed to us now. Another door opens energetically. So we can see further into what is beyond it, and noticing how everything is changing spiritually and energetically around you. Be with this energy as much as you can. No matter how busy you might be or need to be in 3D events, keep on coming back and being and feeling and tuning in with this energy. The safe place and the harbour, they're saying, is there for you, there for us. There we can feel centred. There is a safe place when we feel in the 3D that doesn't exist. There is that safe place for us in the cosmos. The animals are helping to protect us and keep us safe. It feels very simple as well in that space. But also in that simplicity, it's also so rich in depth, community, vibrancy, connection, and that embracing each other. Each other, the rocks, the sea, the land, the animals, nature, everything. We are all embracing each other in that space. And understanding, of course, that we all have different roles to play and a very different understanding and respecting that in others. And respect at the moment is very big because there's also very little of that in the 3D. For good reason. But actually, in the ascension process, in the one consciousness that connects all of us, as I've been mentioning, there is that respect and reverence for each other in that space. So this is feeling so much more tangible all of a sudden. And the last 4 weeks have felt as though we are in a new phase, just as the 3D goes into complete and utter collapse and chaos. The last 4 weeks in the cosmos and in the ascension process, when you're feeling into that, be interested to feel actually, and please let me know in the comments, what the last 4 weeks have meant to you. Have you felt as though you are connected in at that level? That distance from the 3D is increasing in you energetically. That you are able to just detach from that, but be and belong with the divine in whatever way is working best for you. This is feeling now like a new phase of being, both spiritually, energetically, and maybe also a new dimension. So I keep on being taken back to the indigenous person who's kneeling close to the ground in a previous video a few months ago. And I believe that video was when we were looking at the New Madrid seismic zone and all the vibration of what was happening at the time and is still happening in that area. The earthquakes around that area and the Mississippi River. The man I'm talking about was on his knees, if you remember, on all fours, and he was humming quietly but intensively and intently, very low to the ground. And at the time I wasn't sure what was actually happening, but looking back on that time now and what the horses are showing me, this is part of the sacred hum where we align our breath, our energy, that vibration that we feel moving around our bodies all the time. In that sacred hum and that vibration, we can align our energy with nature, with the animals, with the land. It all aligns in together. When we feel, and we often look back on this, maybe just after it's happened. Sometimes it's not easy to feel it in the moment unless it lasts for a short time or a long time, if you're lucky. That alignment, being in that deep, intense connection with nature and land. And our sacred hum helps us not only to get to that place of aligning our breath, aligning our whole energy with nature, the one consciousness, but also it helps to calm our nervous system. And for many of you who've told me you're not sleeping at the moment, maybe those in Japan because of everything that's been talked about what might be happening there with an earthquake and tsunami. This is affecting people on such a real level, on an everyday, every minute level, that the horses are helping us now to find a way to calm our nervous systems and to be able to feel more into this connection and this belonging and this centering within the ascension process. And even if you're not feeling consciously aligned with that ascension process, this is really important now to find a way that works for you, where you can feel centered, feel aligned with spirit, with the cosmos. So the clarity of that moment is so clear now of what they're saying and the healing that comes when we find our sacred hum. And just to be clear, this is not the light-hearted hum that we might do when we're listening to a record we really like, a song we really like. It's not that light-hearted humming, although I'm sure that can help. But this is about our sacred hum that we find, and it could be in meditation, you could be out just in nature and feeling it at a very low base level of your throat. That sacred hum, which often might be found through Om, and feeling where that Om resonates and vibrates in your chest and further down in your body. So you know that vibration is vibrating throughout and it's going deep. And keep on humming or omming at that deep level for at least 5 to 10 minutes each time. Doesn't matter where you do that, as long as you are feeling it in your body and feeling the frequency of your own sacred hum in your body. And that is how we align that frequency of our hum automatically with the hum and the frequency and the resonance of the earth and the cosmos. And just as a reminder, we tend to think of the earth as being 3D only, but it is sentient, it is conscious, as everything being and living here is. Everything has a consciousness and is sentient. So we're being urged to be with our hum, to feel into it, and feel how your energy moves and radiates throughout your body when you hum. And feel into the patterns of what that vibration is doing in your body and its movement. Where is it going to in your body? Where can you feel it moving into? And I have a question for you now. Are we our own sound healers through our sacred hum? Are we able to heal ourselves through that hum? You may want to research some of this as well. There's some very interesting write-ups on what can happen through this practice of sacred humming. Interesting that the horses have brought me to this at this really intense time. Yes, it's already intense, but it's about to get more intense as well as we move through July and into August. So being out in nature, perfect place to hum, and you can do it at a low level, but always be very conscious of its movements. Patterns maybe, but certainly its movements and its frequency and its vibration throughout your body. And know at the same time as you are humming in this way that you are also radiating out your soul imprint into nature, into the cosmos. Animals and nature, because they are at a higher vibration than us, they can easily read our soul imprint as they can with each other's. And watch now how your breath deepens and slows as you get more into this practice, how you calm your nervous system, how you feel centered in your energy, as you also are radiating this outwards out of your body. Your own sacred hum. And as I'm in the practice of this, what I was feeling at the same time is the energy of a certain plant coming into my energy field. I didn't try to identify what that plant was, despite my mind trying to inquire into it. A message was coming through to me. No, let it be. It doesn't matter what the identity is. The important point is the plant is coming into my energy field. And I sense that what it's doing is it's feeling into my energetic imprint in my own field to help me to heal. So I don't need to know what it is energetically. I don't need to ingest it. It is coming in to help me. I felt that as it was coming into my energy field. All I need to do is to be with it, to note it, to allow it to do what it's here to do. And I found that absolutely fascinating. So I'd be really interested to hear what your own experiences are with your sacred hum. It opens up everything in that connection. So I can feel all the energy tingling around my body now as I'm taken back to that time, and feeling the rhythmic pattern connecting us to the one consciousness field. So I can feel the spiraling of the energy and the reverberations around my body. And if you've been listening to these videos for a while, you will know that one of my horses is all about the circles, all about the spirals. That is where creation comes from, in that spiraling. And that's what I'm feeling in my body from the sacred hum. So as you're practicing it yourself, what the horses are asking you to do now is listen to your body and note what is happening in your own body. Listening to it with every sense that you have. Listening is not just about your ears, it is literally about every sense so you can go deeper and deeper and deeper to really hear those messages coming through from spirit, from the cosmos, from the divine. And as your sacred hum is reverberating around your body, notice where it's lighting up your body, where you're feeling those connections, like you can see on a circuit board when the energy is connecting up and firing off each other. Feel that in your own body. And particularly now we have Uranus moving into Gemini, talking about those connections and everything lighting up, the synchronicities, connections coming in from the universe. And ask it what message it has for you. And interesting that my voice is going at this point in time. They are also urging us to look at creative writing. If that is something that you're drawn to, now would be a great time to get into or get back to that daily practice. Whichever way you allow spirit and open up to spirit and all its messages that are coming through. This isn't about opening up so much at the moment. Opening up, closing down, opening up, closing down. This is about going with the flow, being in that vibration, noting if something coming towards you is not the energy that you want to attract, and knowing how to deal with that, to move through it, but to be with it all in flow. And with that, I'll leave the message for this week. Thank you for listening.